Hola amigos de Atomics Comics, nos encontramos en la Mole 2020, estamos con la celebridad Fabry y él está dibujando, nos va a conceder una entrevista. Hi sir, thanks for the interview.
That's alright, no problem. I haven't done it yet. You might be in for a disappointment.
Is this your first time in Mexico City?
It is indeed.
Did you know you have a lot of fans here because Lobo, maybe the Lobo from DC?
Oh, okay.
And the Preacher, of course.
Oh well, yeah. Simon Bisley did most of the popular Lobo. I did see a few covers and things for Lobo. Yeah, I did a cover that somebody got tattooed on their back. But yeah, I've done loads of covers, but I did all the covers for the Preacher comic.
There is a store called Planeta, Editorial Planeta, and they have a special issue from all your covers from the Preacher era you draw. How was to draw for you all this stuff? Because the thematic. Could you tell us about the Preacher? How was your time in that?
Well, I used to work with Garth Ennis and with Steve Dillon. I did it before for a couple of comics in England, including Deadline, where Tank Girl first appeared, and 2000 AD. I worked with them on that. And Garth, as a writer, moved over to America and started working for DC Vertigo. And originally he was working on Hellblazer, the John Constantine story. The first books of that came out, the artist on it was Will Simpson, who's now more famous for doing all the artwork on Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a well-known television programme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Will Simpson went on from doing a comic to Game of Thrones, and I'm still sitting on my arse. But yeah. So anyway, I worked with Garth and Steve, and we really got on well. They were a great couple, and like sort of big mates and all of that. And I think it's after about, God knows how many issues, after about 50 or something issues of Hellblazer, Garth sort of said, well, me and Steve, we've got an exciting new story, which we'd like you to do the covers for it. And I said, well, yeah, of course, we're old friends, we're old pals, we go out drinking late at night and all of it, so, hey, big buddies. So I said, yeah, of course. And anyway, a month or so later, Steve sends me some drawings, and there's this picture of a guy who's like a vicar, and he's got a perm, and he's wearing white jeans. Okay. And I'm kind of thinking, what have I gone in for? Because Garth has always got like a bee in his bonnet about religion. He can't stand religion or superheroes. That's the two things that drives him bonkers the most. So I thought I was just going to go on about bloody religion again. But a little while later, we got the scripts through and all of that, and I realised it was actually really well written. And it's really funny and evil at the same time.
I don't remember any church protest about this kind of comics. I mean, the comics they weren't trying to oppose to the church. I mean, it was only thematic with.
Well, I think there were quite a few people who were interested in making sort of films about Preacher because it sold pretty well as a comic.
Yeah.
And at one point, the guy who was producer on The Sopranos, sort of got in contact with sort of Garth and Steve. And it's only after they kind of read the story that they realised that it's kind of blasphemous.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was a huge part of America.
Yes.
I mean, East Coast and West Coast, they're kind of all right with that. Don't worry on that much. But at the time, whole of Middle America, if someone was blasphemous, it wouldn't sell particularly well. But the satellite TV stuff came through, and people started making more kind of edgy sort of programs, and finally, Preacher got picked up, and hooray! Blasphemy is popular.
Yeah. Well, as I told you, here in Mexico, we meet you, I think, because the Preacher, because all these covers, great covers, and we are all glad to hear, to have you here in Mexico.
Well, I've only been here a couple of days, but what I've seen so far is absolutely fantastic. They took us around the Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Moon the other day, and blew my mind. It's just an incredible atmosphere. And then around all the kind of museum pieces, and, so all of this kind of stuff, I kind of think about it, thinking, my God, this stuff is incredible. I'm going to have to find a way to rip it off and use it in my artwork. So you might see some kind of Mayan influences kind of creep in a little bit later on.
Well, I appreciate the time, this interview. This is for a YouTube channel, Comics Comics. Welcome to Mexico, and thanks for the interview.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Brilliant. Have a good one.